Stacey, baby girl, I don't know if TJ wants you. I don't even know if he wants a woman at all. Let's get into it. Hey guys, it's Miss Chanel Baby here with my latest recap of The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 9, Episode 3. Let's go. First of all, we finally get the taglines. The first episode, the taglines are revealed. I wasn't too impressed. It was kind of boring to me. But I did enjoy the new girls, both of the new girls. Stacey's tagline, which was, I can host the show, I know how to host a show, and how to steal a show. That was cute. And Kiana's was my favorite. She was like, I own a business, I mind my business, and I stand on business. Okay, so that was my favorite tagline. So the taglines finally revealed. We get the taglines around episode 3, sometimes episode 2, but yeah, usually around episode 3 or 4 is when we finally get them taglines. So the episode opens up with a continuation of last week when Giselle was kicking the girls out of her event. By the way, last week I wasn't sure if the name of the venue was Auto Shop or if they were at an actual auto shop, but I believe that was the name of the venue because they showed it at the beginning. So it starts off with Giselle saying like, ladies, sorry, telling them they gotta go. And they're gagging like, huh? Like, we just got here. So she's basically calling her security. I said, what's his name, Willie? I was right, it's William. So I was right. See, I remembered that part. So yeah, she was like, William, come on, let's go, and kicked them out, for real. So they were highly offended. Stacey was like, I am so offended. Like, I am humiliated. Like, she was mad. And Jassy was telling Ashley, like, how y'all going to invite us here? We came all the way over here to support y'all and y'all going to kick us out? She was like, I would have rather have not been invited. And she left, and mind you, so they leave to go back out to their van. So as they're leaving and Giselle's talking to the people there, they're telling her that she should have at least given them the barcode because they still need to make their 15 grand or make their, their quota. So now, they give the thing to Ashley, and Ashley goes running out behind the ladies to give them the barcode so they can make a donation. So the ladies is like, girl, bye. Jassie's like, Ashley, bye, please. So she goes to press the button. She presses the button so that the van door can close. And when it was closing, I guess it hit Ashley's shoulder or something. So here goes Ashley. Oh, that's harassment. So Jassie like, Ashley, I'm sorry, but please, no. Good night. Go to bed. I think she was like, you have bags. If I'm not mistaken. So they dismissed her. But I think she threw the thing in there anyway for them to give a donation. And I'm like, Ashley, why would they give a donation if they kicked y'all kicked them out? Giselle, why would you expect them to still make a donation if you kicked them out? Not for nothing. I don't care about charity. I'm a charitable person, but if I'm coming to your charity event and I get kicked out, I'm not making no goddamn donation. Girl, bye. You ain't get charity. Let me not say that. But honestly, that was just so rude of her. And second of all, girl, you didn't you didn't meet your target, $15,000. So it seems to me like the last thing you needed to be doing was kicking people out. And look, you didn't make your goal. So yeah, the ladies were offended. So as they're leaving in the van, Mia was going on Giselle. She was like, we can't do coffee, we can't do tea, we can't decorate your what she said, we can't decorate your tacky house with your Willy Wonka ass furniture. You know what, Mia? You ain't lying. So I guess, and you hear Stacey in the background like, nasty woman, nasty woman. So now we go to the next scene of the episode. The next scene actually was one of those little collages where they kind of show you like the girls separately. They only show 2 though. They show Wendy, she was with her kids. No, first actually they showed Giselle. They did show Wendy first. They showed Wendy, she was with her kids, and they was doing the drip challenge or something like that. Yeah, they was doing like the drip challenge, and the son was like, oh, my sneakers cost such and such, my haircut cost. I was like, girl, bye, you teaching your kids to be pretentious? But I guess it was a challenge that, maybe the kids is doing that drip challenge where you, I guess, say what you got on and how much it costs. But anyway, that's what they were doing. And then they also skipped to a scene showing Kiana with her man Greg. Her man. So now the next scene is Jassy arriving at Stacey's house. So Stacey lets her in. So they're like, what was that about last night? Talking about how they got kicked out of the event. And Stacey was like wondering, she was like, why did Giselle have security for? Like, are we supposed to have security or whatever? And Jassy was like, apparently. So she's like, I need some referrals. So now Ashley arrives. So now when Ashley arrives, they offer something to drink. She comes in, and Stacey like, so what was that about last night? Ashley. And Jassy was like, next time y'all want to kick somebody out of y'all GNA gangsters and alcohol advance. I was like, she was like, called the gangsters and alcohol. I was like, oh no. So Ashley was like, got gangsters and alcohol. Stacey was like, that's what y'all was acting like. And Ashley was gagging. So by this time, Karen is arriving, so they're going back. So as Stacey's going to let Karen in, Jassy and Ashley are going back and forth about the van closing situation, the door closing, and Jassy's like, even though I didn't want you in the van, Ashley, I'm sorry that the door hit you. I didn't mean for that to do it. And Ashley was like, it was hard. It closes hard. And Jassy was like, no, it doesn't, because I reenacted the whole thing, and it doesn't. It closes slow. So as they going back and forth, Karen comes in on some extra, like, what the fuck is going on in here? Mad extra. I was like, Karen, calm down, girl. Like, what is all that about? So she came in with that, like that. So they talking now. So they're letting her know how they felt about last night, and Ashley was apologizing. Well, not apologizing, but they was letting Ashley know that they felt like they was owed an apology. So now Ashley said something to Karen. I don't know how it came up with Karen. Oh, actually, Ashley was saying how Karen knew what she was doing when the event first started. She was saying how when the event first happened, Karen told everybody, like, she didn't invite them. She told everybody to go to Giselle's event. And then she going to say on the day of for everybody to come to both events. And Ashley was like, Karen knew what she was doing. And Ashley said to her, she was like, Karen, it's crazy because I don't even know what the award is for. So they start going back and forth. And it leads to her saying how Karen was deflecting because Karen said something about the Inquisition party they had. So she was like, nice deflection. So Karen was like, you know what, Ashley? I should have known you was shady when you gave me them 4 Uber cards. She was like, I should have known you was shady then. She was like, you should have took them and used them for that. Let me see. I wrote it down. For that human being of a acorn on your foot. Talking about her bunions. So then Ashley puts her feet on top, her wedges on top of Stacey's counter. Like, you talk about my bunions, I'm like, girl, why is you putting your shoe on somebody's kitchen counter? Not even, it was the counter it was like a counter or I don't know if it was, a counter. So, girl, what is you doing? So anyway, they going back and forth about that. So she said something about Karen better hope she don't end up in jail. Karen still was talking about her bunions. So that made her laugh. So then that's when they basically said this could all be settled by Giselle giving them an apology. And Stacey, she was like, she apologizes. Like, she got this little face of hers. You could tell she's a little feisty one, all right? She might be proper, but you could tell she got that little bit of spice in her. So the next scene, actually, when they made the joke about Ashley's bunions, I wrote this down. Stacey had said, Ashley's a gorgeous girl from top to ankles. So I was like, Stacey, I'm liking you. Episode 3, and Stacey, you're definitely... I'm intrigued. So the next scene now was Wendy at home with her mom and her daughter Cameron, who is 4 years old now. How long? This is Wendy's 5th season? I think Wendy came in season 5. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that means when she first came, her daughter wasn't even born yet. Yeah, because I think she had the baby after that season, because that's when she got the body work done, and they was saying, oh, she got it done to make sure her husband don't go astray or whatever. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, her daughter got big. So her and the mother is there, and they talking, and the mother goes. She's making some. I think it was some African yams. And she was like, oh, yeah, and I put this in your freezer. And she goes in the freezer and pull out a big piece of fish. And I think she said it was swordfish, some kind of fish she said it was. But it was a big piece of fish that she had in the freezer. And she was like, she wanted to cook it. So they start the talking now. And Wendy announces to her mom that she's going to Lake Norman, North Carolina on a trip Mia had planned for the girls. And she's also excited because it's her birthday for during the trip. So I guess that's how she's gonna celebrate her birthday. So they're kicking it and talking, and they're cooking. The mother's cooking up that good old African meal. I don't eat African food, but I can't front what they look like they was cooking. It looked like I would have probably asked for a plate. I would have took a plate. So now, Wendy, in her confessional, she tells us how her and Eddie's parents used to be friends. And then when they got engaged, I guess, they stopped being friends. But then when she was explaining the situation, it was like she said that they were friends and they had fell out. And then it's like, then after they fell out, they found out their kids were getting married. So it was like, oh no, you're not marrying that bitch. So they don't like Wendy. They didn't come to I did show the flashback. I remember, I don't know if it was her first season or her second season when they were talking about her wedding, and her mother, she was saying how his mother doesn't like her and how she didn't come to their wedding. So now she's telling her mom how she's been in contact with them and she's thinking about inviting them to something they're having. Did I write it down? No, she's having something. She's thinking of inviting them. So the mother was like, please do, or whatever. So Wendy was like, the last time you saw them was at Cruz's baptism, her son Cruz. So the mother was like, yeah, how at the baptism, when she saw Eddie's mother and she went up to him to give him a hug, she backed off, to give her a hug. She backed off don't touch me. That's what she said she gave. So she was like, so now I know when she come, I'm not going to try to hug her. I'll say hi, but I'm not going to try to hug her. And she was like, but I know one thing, if she comes to me, it's going to be a showdown. So that she started doing, so that was cute. So now, the next scene is at Greg's house with Kiana. Okay, so she's making breakfast for him. Her mother shows up. Her mother comes by. Her mother looks good. She looks young, too. It's giving very much Black China in Tokyo. But anyway, so the mother comes by, and she's cooking, and I guess the mother criticizes her pancakes and her eggs, because I guess Kiana don't know how to cook. So they're talking, and Greg comes down. He gets his breakfast. He says hey to the mom or whatever. I think she said that he had just had, she said he just had a deep root canal. So he was, I guess, pain and cranky and, So she had to eat before he took his medicine. So she was making him some breakfast or whatever. I don't even know if it was morning, but I know she was making him breakfast food. But I would assume it was morning. But I know I'm the type that'll be eating breakfast at 2 in the afternoon, 3 in the afternoon if I woke up late. But yeah, or if that's just what I wanted in the afternoon, that's what I'll make. So yeah. So now when Greg goes back upstairs to eat, he kept it real brief and simple. He said hi and bye. I think the mom asked him how he liked living with Kiana. He gave a very vague answer and kept it pushing. He was giving very we working it out, we getting there. So as soon as he leave now, the mother start pressing Kiana about what's up with the ring. So Kiana's giving very much, I don't want to be that thirsty girl I want the ring to ask for the ring. I want him to just give it to me. So the mother you never thirsty, you're a boss, you're confident. So I don't know if Kiana wants the ring and she's scared to ask for it, or if she really feels I don't know, but it's and if I'm not mistaken, I saw something online recently that I didn't open it up and read it, but it alluded to them not being together no more. As I'm talking about today, like current day, because you know these shows are recorded like 4 to 6 months before we're actually watching them. Because you could be watching it in like the summertime, and the episode would be like Christmas time. They'll be celebrating Christmas, you know. So yeah. So now after that scene with her and her mom, the next scene is Giselle, and she's with the twins and Grace, and the twins are getting ready for their prom. It's prom night, and Giselle's excited because remember last year was Grace's prom. So she's like, oh, you know, her kids won't be leaving now. So she's going to be an empty nester. And she's starting to feel it like, you know, the girls are going to be gone and it's going to be different. And I get what she's saying because it's like one daughter left and then the twins are leaving. And it's like, oh my gosh, my babies. So I definitely, the one thing I could say is Giselle is the most likable when she's with her children. All right? That's when she's the most likable. So now, and also Cal's there. He's doing their hair. Remember her stylist Cal, her hairstylist Cal. So now, Pastor Jamal Bryant pulls up. Was it Gucci down to the toe he had on? Was it? Or Fendi? He had on something. I should have wrote it down, but I didn't. But I know that's what Giselle noticed as soon as he walked through the door. So, you know, of course he's coming to see his daughters off to their prom. So they're discussing curfew now. And I think originally they wanted two, and Jamal was like, no, we're not doing two. So I think they had agreed on 12:30 or maybe 1 it was, because it's crazy because they got the perfect names, right? Because their names matches their personality. Because Giselle said Adore is like the party girl. She want to party and turn up. Whereas Angel be ready to come home by like, Angel even said it. She said, my social clock runs out like around 12:30. So it's crazy like that. They have those personalities. Angel is the homebody where Adore is the turn up. And then, so now when they go get their dresses on, they put their dresses on, they both looked so beautiful. Like, Giselle, you're a beautiful woman and you have 3 beautiful daughters. I will give you that. I'm not the biggest Giselle Bryant fan, but one thing I will say is that, baby, you did that. You and Jamal Bryant did that, okay? So yeah, so they're dressed for prom, and it's great because Angel has on Adore has on the red dress. And Angel has on the black dress, the more conservative, you know, the more classic. But it had like a beaded like top right here. It was kind of white, but it gave beaded a little bit. And Adore had on a red dress, so it's like Angel, Devil. Well, not really Angel, but conservative, and then Devil. Sorry, guys, my little new doggy, he wants to come bother me, and he's say hi, Sebastian. Yes. So next scene. You threw me off, Sebastian. So the twins are going. One of the twins' boyfriends or date, I guess, pulls up and they go off to their prom. And I'm like, aww. So now, and Jamal was just like looking like he loved his daughters. They're so beautiful. It was 2 proud parents. It was a great moment. I really enjoyed that scene. Next scene, Mia. Mia with ink at her place. She explained that because what's his name again? Because Gordon lives in her building, sometimes her and Ink would get an Airbnb so they can have privacy, so it could be no unexpected, you know, stop by for coffee or nothing like that. So she's there with the kids and Ink. Jackie arrives with her kids. Now, Jackie says that she's like, hey, Ink, I didn't know you was here. Greets Ink. So Jackie says in her confessional how, before this, Mia was saying in her confessional how her and Ink were high school buddies, high school sweethearts. They were together until like their adolescence, the end of their adolescence before they reached adulthood, and then they went their separate ways, and then they came back together. So Jacqueline says in her confessional how when they broke up the first time, how Ink was asking her out, trying to get with her, but she was like, no, I'm not going to do that. So I believe her. Who knows? They probably did creep. And something about Jacqueline to me, like, she's trying too hard. She seems like a thirst bucket. It really seems like, bravo, y'all is just shoving her down our throat, making us accept her. Like, something about Jacqueline just doesn't do it for me. She doesn't have that spark. And also, I don't understand, like, I do understand why they're trying to make Mia the new anchor of the show. She does have, like, a lot of drama going on. But I honestly feel like when I'm watching a scene with Mia by herself, when she's not with the girls, when I'm watching a scene with Mia, I feel like I just switched from Real Housewives to Love and Hip Hop. Like, that's what it gives. Like, Mia gives, like, I'm a city girl. Like, that's what it gives. Like, her and Jacqueline talking on Ain't wanting to be with her. It just, I honestly feel like Mia kind of brought the class of the show down. When this show first started, it was classy. They was all about etiquette and being, demure. And now, it's like Love and Hip Hop Potomac. I will say the whole Monique and Candace of it all, that big fist fight, that was ratchet, but it was a good ratchet, We was here for it. And also, that was the only ratchet thing, was that they had to fight, and Monique was definitely a fighter. You could tell she was about it. And Candace is a talker. So, but they weren't having threesomes with their husbands, and at least not talking about it on camera. They wasn't like leaving their husbands for their side piece and talking about sneaky links. Like, child, this is Real Housewives, not basketball wives. So now, they're there. Jacqueline's coming by because her baby father, it's his birthday, and they're going to celebrate his birthday. He's the father of her children, and his name is Patrick. So when he arrived, she's like, hey, PP. She calls him PP. So when they arrived, Ink asks him, like, what was that? I noticed when you first came, they called you PP. What was that about? So then PP, they explained, stood for parental partners. They are parental partners. So she said, we're trying to figure out a way about going about peaceful parenting. So that's why I call him PP, and also because he has a big PP. And no shade, Patrick do look like he do. Because when she said it, he looked and he was like, I think I might need another shot. But when I looked, I was like, he give that big dick energy. He look like he do. I believe you, Jacqueline, because you look like you like a big one, girl. So now they're chilling and they're talking, and she's letting them know. Or actually, as they were talking, Greg and Ink were having a little side conversation on the side. The men was having their own conversation about parenting and stuff. So Patrick asked Ink if he had any kids. So Ink was like, yep, for sure. And it's crazy because as he's singing that, he's looking and the camera's showing Mia's son, what's his name again? Jeremiah. And it's like he's looking at Jeremiah when he's saying, yeah, I got a kid. He's looking like at Jeremiah, and they're showing Jeremiah. So I'm like, oh my gosh, they are really like going along with the storyline of whose father is Jeremiah's. Like, so that's what it was given. But then it looked like he was showing him. He was like, here go mine's right here. And they didn't show it. You just saw like the bottom of their body. But I assumed he was showing him a picture of his child. I don't know if Ink has children or not, besides the one he's claiming to be his. But I heard him saying, here go mine's right here. And it seems like he was showing him a picture. I believe that's what happened. But the, editing made it seem like when he was saying, yeah, he was looking at Jeremiah like, that's my son right there. Y'all is a mess editing. So now I must say that, no, that's the next scene. Let me save that. The next scene, we're at Sweat DC, which is a gym. Stacey is meeting her friend, TJ. So her personal trainer is there. So now when TJ comes and greets her, he says, what's up to the trainer? He seems like he got some personality to him at first. So as they're talking, and she went up to him because she said, which balls should we use, the big ones? And she said, asked, why should we use such big balls? And he was like, oh, because every brother wants those. So then I made a dumb joke. So then she was like, speaking of balls, and like went to go like grab his hand and press herself to him. So then he like, I don't want to sleep with you. I'm not going to sleep with you. So then she was like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you want to sleep with me? So he was like, the letter K. So she's like, what does that mean? He was like, 0. So now in her confessional, this is what threw me off, and this is why I started my video off the way I started it off. Because she was like, TJ been has been intimate with other partners in the past. Is he because they asked him, was he a virgin? The person behind the camera asked, was he a virgin? And she was like, no, he's been intimate with other partners in the past, but he doesn't want to be with a woman until he's married. So the way I read that was that he's had sex, but just not with a woman yet, and he's waiting until he gets married to have sex with a woman. That's what I got. That's not what she said, but that's what I saw all the buzz online. I saw all the hoorah. That's what the girls are saying, that baby TJ want a man. So that's what it gave. Honestly, he doesn't seem like he's into her. So after they finish their workout and the trainer leaves, they're talking. He asking her what she's going to do. You know, what's going on with her divorce situation. I guess he's asking because he want to know, like, are we supposed to be dealing? I want to know what's up, you know, with that. How's the process? How's that progressing? So she's like, oh, I don't want to talk about that. I just want to chill with you. So he's like, but I'm saying we got to talk about that because, you know, I need to know that there's a start and an end. Like, basically, like, I need to know that you're going through with this. Like, we're not doing all of this for you to turn around and be like, oh, I'm not going to go through with the divorce. But honestly, it just doesn't seem like he's into her. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe he's one of those guys that wants to save himself for marriage, so he feels like by sleeping with men or maybe other people, like trans or maybe, that's still saving himself for marriage. I don't know how that works, but that's between him and his God. So next scene is Mia once again. She's at her apartment now, which is nice though. Mia, I will say, Mia has good taste. I will say, she said it. She's been in about 4 different places now since she's been on Potomac. This is like her 4th location. She's like, who else is that keep moving? It's Mia. She like whatchamacallit and Toya, Dr. Toya and Dr. Eugene from Married to Medicine. Always moving. Like Meredith and Seth from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Like, how many places, since you've been on the show, you've been in like 4 different locations living there. But I must say, every place she stayed at was nice. No matter how big or small it was definitely top shelf. It was luxury. Mia has taste. I will give that. So she's there with Ink now. And I don't know, it's something about Ink to me that just does not do it. He doesn't have that judge. He doesn't have that drip. Like, he doesn't have it. Like, I felt like Gordon had that. Gordon was more camera ready. You know what I'm saying? Gordon had the charisma, you know? I don't think Ink has that. When he's on, he looks uncomfortable on camera. I honestly feel like this scene, as well as the scene with Jacqueline and her baby father, I feel like those were filler scenes for this episode. Like, we could have went without those scenes. Well, the scene with Jacqueline was kind of juicy, knowing that Ink used to do in the whole Ink. That was a little juicy, and seeing Patrick was cute. But other than that, I don't understand. But anyway, her and Ink is at her house. She's making cookies. So they start to talk about, he asking her about the trip that they're going on, that she planned the trip for them to Lake George. Was it Lake George? Did I say that right? Lake Norman, sorry, I said George. I said change his name to Lake Norman, North Carolina, also known as the Queen City, because this is where Mia's from. So she wants to, you know, give them a taste of her. And she thinks that she basically wants them to see where she was from. So she's planned the trip for them. You know, Mia always does. I will say Mia always does everything in luxury, first class, top notch. So if Mia plans an event, I'm not going to be worried about it. I know I'm going to go to a very tasteful and demure event. All right? So she might be tacky and as far as in her life, but as far as planning things out and having that whole appearance thing, She keep up with all her appearances, honey. I will give it to her. Okay? So now her and they start to talk. So he asked her, is Auntie going? So she's like, who's Auntie? So he's like, Giselle, because she kicked her out of her joint. So she lets him know that her and Giselle actually met up and talked yesterday. So they show a flashback of her and Giselle meeting yesterday and Giselle apologizing to her, letting her know it wasn't about you. I was really mad at Karen and you were collateral damage and my anger with you was misplaced. And Mia was like, okay, thank you. I appreciate that. And when someone gives you an apology and if it's sincere, like, what can you do but accept it? You can, like, unless it was something crazy they did, but I would be mad about getting kicked out of an event. But the type of apology that Giselle gave her, it's like, I can accept that, Why I'ma still be mad? You were mad, I get it. It was for your father, and you feel like Karen took away from the importance of that with her fugazi little award she was getting. So I get that. So now they start talking about Karen. So now when they're discussing Karen, like they're whispering, Mia's whispering, and they're whispering, and Ink is like, why are we whispering? Like, why are we whispering? So she like, I don't know, I guess. So she's saying how now she looked and realized that it went from like the regular court and now it's in criminal court. So I was like, Karen, let me find out you a criminal, sis. And this is your second DUI. So she was like, So they, and Ink was like, you going to be there for her? She was like, what, you going to have like a free Karen sign or something? He was asking, they going to be there for her, show up for her court date. So now in the next scene, we go to Giselle arriving at Zoo's Cocktail Garden. She gets there and she tells the lady she's meeting up with some of her friends. She orders a mezcal and then also a charcuterie and a cheese board. So now Ashley arrives next and she orders a spicy mocktail. After Ashley arrives, Jassy and Stacey arrive. And when they arrive, Giselle greets them. She hugs them. So Jassy's like, I'm glad that you greeting me so, like this today. Because last time it wasn't like that. So, Giselle does finally apologize to them and let them know, I'm sorry, that wasn't meant for y'all. I was upset. So they accepted her apology. Stacey was like, they was good with her now. So now Wendy arrives. So when Wendy arrives, she like, what? Giselle apologized? Okay. So now they start talking, and Giselle asked Stacey, like, don't you have 2 kids? So Stacey was like, no, I only have one, a daughter named Arabella. She's beautiful. She's a great kid. She's the love of my life. And she said her and her husband been together for 16 years, and they are now getting a divorce. They've been separated for a year. So as she's telling Giselle this, Giselle is like, well, you sound sad about it. Like, do you want a divorce? Because you sound sad about it. So Stacey is like, I would never celebrate, a divorce. Because I think Giselle was like, I was celebrating. And Stacey was like, I would never celebrate a divorce. So then as she's singing that, as she's telling Giselle, she has a friend. So Giselle was like, oh, all right, you got a little thing on the side. All right, cool. All right, do that. Like, my husband. So Stacey's looking like, are you kidding me? So she's like, you know what, Ashley? I invited you into my home. I've had multiple conversations with you about my marriage and my daughter. And Wendy like, and what she do? And she was like, she sat here over charcuterie and wine, telling all my business. Stacey, I'm liking you, sis. So now, Ashley's like in a confessional, like she ain't say it was a secret. Like Ashley was like to her, like, I didn't know you wanted to tell each girl individually or whatever on your own. So Ashley in her confessional was saying how she told me that was her friend. Like she ain't say, she just said it was her friend. She told me Vivian was her friend. So now I can't mention Vivian. Ashley, don't play semantics. Don't play dumb. You know what you was doing. You was being messy. You was telling her business. Let her tell her own story. Let Giselle get to know her on her own. We don't need you to fill her in. This is actually, sometimes you really just need to be quiet. Just sit down and be quiet. Just like last season when you was defending NECA all season. You know how many times I was saying on my screen, Ashley, shut up. And that's what I was saying right there. Ashley, be quiet. So anyway, so now Giselle tells her, it's all about you right now and what makes your daughter happy. Your daughter, if wants to see you happy. So if being with, whoever that is makes you happy, then rock it out. Rock with it. And Stacey's like, thank you. And she looked at Ashley and just do hair flip like, I don't have long hair right now, but she was like, roll her eyes. And I'm loving Stacey's spiciness. She's giving me that privileged girl, but she was a mean girl when she was in high school. You can tell she was a mean girl. And I love it. So now, the next scene is they're going to the airport now because it's time for the trip to Lake Norman, or as I say, Lake George. So they're going, and Stacey's not flying with the ladies because she doesn't fly. I believe someone in her family died in an accident or something like that. Of aviation, something of that nature, so she's not going to fly. I didn't catch exactly what they said, but she's not going to fly. She's going to meet them there. I think, no, it was somebody passed away, so she was going to go and pay their respects to them first. And then come meet them on a trip after that. She wanted to, pay respect to her family before she left to go, which is respectable. So now they go on a flight, they get out there, and when they get there, Mia, of course, has some luxury cars waiting for them, as only a queen would do in the Queen City. So now, and the cars are as follows. In one car, you have Mia and Karen. In another car, you have Wendy, Giselle, and Jacqueline. And then in the other car is Ashley, Kiana, and Jassy. So as they're driving there, they're showing all the girls in their cars. So when they're in the car with Jassy and Jassy's letting the girls know. I believe Ashley asked her how long has she been with her man. No, Ashley asked her and she said 2 years. And who else was in the car with them? That was Kiana, because Kiana was like, yeah, me too. I think she was saying her and Greg been together for 2 years too. I believe that's what she said. So Jassy makes it clear that she was his first real relationship. She repeated it. She said, and once again, I am his first serious relationship. So now in the car with Wendy, Giselle, and Jacqueline, Wendy is excited because it's her birthday coming up, and because it's her birthday, and she's turning 40, and she's excited about turning 40. The big 40. This is her last hours in her 30s, so she's excited, and they're talking, and on the way there, I think they started talking about religion or something, and she asked Giselle something about the transition she made because she was Baptist, and I guess when she got divorced from Jamal Bryant, she left the church, and maybe she's Protestant or Christian now, but they was talking about making that transition. So in her confessional, Giselle was like, I'm actually enjoying Wendy, like seriously, like I'm enjoying Wendy. And Wendy in her confessional was like baby steps. So now, in the call with Mia and Karen, Mia asks Karen, so how you doing? How's everything? And Karen is like, I feel like my back's against the wall, but I'm hanging in there. I can't really talk because there's a court, proceeding. So then Mia like, girl, it's on the internet, so that's why I'm asking you, how are you? So Karen is like, I was going through stress with my relationship, my marriage, and losing my parents and everything that all hit me. So then Mia was like, so what? You just kind of like lost control? So then Karen like, I don't want to say nothing to incriminate myself, so I'm not going to say nothing. So Mia was like, girl, one day, you might break. It's going to all boil you over one day. And as she says that, it just shows hours later, and it's just, shit is just hitting the fan. Karen is wilding out. It seemed like the girls is holding her feet to the fire about this DUI. I heard her say something about, I don't have 2 DUIs. And they pulled out the thing like driving while intoxicated or whatever. driving under the influence, and they ask Stacey, "Is this what you defending?" Then you even see Stacey pressing her, like Stacey and Karen on the couch, and Stacey was like, "I hear you went to go to rehab. Like, do you need help or something?" So it seemed like next week it's going to all hit the fan, and they going to press Karen, and it's given we not taking this you can't talk, girl. We gonna hold you accountable. It looked like accountability is coming for Miss Karen Huger. So we'll see what happens next episode. They didn't really show a preview of, you know how they show you something like next episode? They didn't show that, I don't think, because all that drama just unfolded. So it just left you to be like, what's next? So I can't wait to see what happens next episode when they press Karen about her DUI and when she go berserk. I'm here for it, but this was a good episode. Potomac is off to a strong start. If I had to say what my favorite scene this episode was the whole, girl, you coming in here telling my business over charcuterie board and wine, and the hair flip of it all. And the whole gangsters and alcohol comment. That was cute. So yeah, this was a cute episode. Stacey, I'm liking you. Kierna, baby girl, you're going to have to step it up, honey. Oh, I see in next week's episode, she going to go crazy, too. I guess somebody asked her about her scar on her face from the fight, and you see her going, running upstairs like, don't ask me about the scar on my face. I'm like, girl, all right, calm down. You that traumatized? Girl, like, when they asked you, did you have a flashback? But anyway, I'm here for it, guys. Thank you. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. And I will see you guys tomorrow because I will be doing a recap of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, episode 6. I have to watch the episode tonight, and then tomorrow I'll rewatch it and take my notes. So that way I can do my fully detailed review for you guys. All right, thank you for joining. Bye now. Guys, one thing I wanted to add that I forgot when I was talking about Stacey and TJ, the scene with Stacey and TJ. All right, I already said Stacey gives me Kenya Moore. She reminds me so much of Kenya Moore. She favors Kenya. Then you're from Detroit like Kenya. Then you have a light-skinned fake boyfriend that appears to be gay like Kenya had with Walter. This is all giving me deja vu. Literally, this is deja vu. This is when Kenya came onto the show originally, and she had Walter. Remember, she was dating Walter, and she was pressing him to propose, and he did not want to propose to her. He was light-skinned. He kind of looked like... Now that I'm thinking about it, TJ looked like Walter. I see what y'all doing with us. I see what y'all doing, Real Housewives. I see what y'all doing, Bravo. I see what y'all did there. I'm watching y'all. I see you. I got my eye on you, Bravo. My good eye.